What prohibitions are engraved in human genes? We often say that genes control us to perform certain behaviors that benefit their own transmission, such as eating and reproduction. Some people might disagree, insisting, I am the master of my own body, not my genes. How could they control me? But think about it. When you've abstained for 99 days and are about to complete a 100-day challenge, and you just happen to come across a borderline video with someone twisting their waist and moving provocatively, that's when your genes will show you who really owns this body. Just set up a dopamine reward mechanism and you can be controlled. Of course, genes will reward you for what is beneficial to survival and reproduction, making you happy, while genes will punish you for what is harmful to survival and reproduction, making you instinctively afraid and away. This is the prohibition engraved in human genes. It is said that the stench of corpses is unbearable. It is different from other odors, but is similar to a mental attack. If you are infected, it is difficult to cover it up, even if you wash it repeatedly or use perfume. This is the gene reminding you that there are corpses of the same kind nearby. This place is very dangerous and you must stay away quickly. So we instinctively hate this smell. Of course, I have never smelled the stench of corpses to see if it is true. That's because, in ancient times, if you hadn't found your group of companions by dusk, it would be very hard to survive the dark night, and you could be eaten by wild animals at any moment. The signals of nightfall and being alone would trigger a genetic early warning mechanism, but in modern society you don't actually feel danger or fear, so instead, you experience this strange sense of loss. Even though we are very different from ancient times now, our genes have still passed down this prohibition. In psychology, there is something called the Westermarck effect, which basically means that two children who grow up together from an early age usually do not develop sexual attraction toward each other when they become adults. In other words, no matter how beautiful a sister is, she still won't catch the eye of her brother. This is a kind of genetic defense mechanism in humans, because inbreeding greatly increases the likelihood of genetic defects in offspring. In medieval Europe, as well as in the Japanese imperial family, royal families try to maintain the purity of their bloodlines. They enforce strict endogamy, which led to many monarchs suffering from severe hereditary diseases. For example, the 41st emperor of Japan was a woman named Empress Jito. At the age of 13, she married her own uncle, Emperor Tenmu, and gave birth to a crown prince named Prince Kusakabe. First, let me clarify this name isn't something I made up. That's really what he was called. If you don't believe me, look up Prince Kusakabe. Later, he even married his mother's younger sister, Princess Abe, making her his empress. So Kusakabe could call his mother his sister-in-law, and at the same time, he was also his own uncle-in-law. Of course, this kind of family arrangement, with all its permutations, inevitably led to genetic backlash. Prince Kusakabe died at 28. There's an even more outrageous example. Japan's 25th emperor, Buretsu, married his own biological mother, making Lady Kasuga his empress. Honestly, what can you say some things just shouldn't be done? At the least, it shouldn't be done, right? To sum up, if you do something that's not conducive to the passing on of genes, there will be consequences. Of course, genes also provide rewards. When we do things that are beneficial for gene transmission, we feel happiness as well. As mentioned before, our fondness for eating sugars, proteins, and fats is because these substances are beneficial for survival and reproduction. Naturally, genes make you feel pleasure when eating these foods, but we also shouldn't overeat. Excessive fat intake can affect the activity of the sebaceous glands, Imagine watching your companion get a head massage from a wild animal's teeth, several centimeters long, while your ears are filled with that creaking sound. This fear has been etched into our genes. Another example is that humans are unable to endure loneliness for long periods of time. That's because humans are inherently social creatures. In the perilous environments of early human history, only by integrating into a group could one survive. Anyone who isolated themselves from the group was very likely to die. So, if modern people are lonely for too long, they can become depressed. This is a survival warning from our genes. A friendly reminder to my brothers, you should find a girlfriend. Of course, some people might disagree and say, I don't have a girlfriend, but I enjoy being alone. But let's be real. Even if you don't have a girlfriend, you're still playing on your phone, surfing the internet, and watching short videos every day. That's not truly enjoying solitude. Real loneliness is having no internet, no TV, no books, and no communication at all. No one cares whether you have enough to eat or note if you can last 2 months like that. Just kidding. Don't take the idea of daily updates so seriously. But compared to the prohibitions set by our genes, I still prefer the rewards they offer. As we've discussed before, seeing attractive girls makes us happy. That's a reward from our genes. So when I always say I like Yifei, that's also my genes at work. But on the other hand, even though everyone likes pretty girls, you shouldn't feel inferior in front of them. Yifei's looks are indeed flawless, but aren't all of you watching this video just as handsome and talented in your own way?